what it was. Y'all know who it is, and y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge Yourself, and I figured I'd put y'all down with a little cosmic insight for today. And say, man, it's Tuesday, and so what we got to do is jump back into this Jupiter series, and fuck it. Since we doing that, we might well do it all the way big, huh? So this right here, this gonna be a little something about those people that have Jupiter and Sagittarius in their natal chart. And before I even get to that, man, you already know what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna bring y'all a little bit about Jupiter in astrology, and I also give a quick breakdown about the sign of Sagittarius in astrology. So without further ado, let's get it cracking. So what is Jupiter? Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun. It's the planet of luck, and I like to think of it as the thinking man's planet. It rules higher learning, and it really gives us a yin for exploring ideas both intellectually and spiritually. Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius and the 9th house of the zodiac chart, and to a way smaller degree, the sign of Pisces in the 12th house of the zodiac chart. Intellectually speaking, Jupiter helps in formulating our ideology, and in a more spiritual sense, Jupiter lords over religion and philosophy, man. This planet concerns itself with long distance travel, foreign culture, ethical and moral values, and our sense of optimism. Luck and good fortune are going to come wherever Jupiter shows up in the chart. And wherever you employ the characteristics of the sign that it's in, it's probably going to bless you even double that. It's the most kind and benevolent energy that there is, and it wants us to flourish in the most positive ways. And when we do, it brings even more blessings. But at the same time, there can always be too much of a good thing. So we have to be mindful of complacency and overindulgence and assuming that we have everything under control, because Jupiter, it doesn't want to have limits or control. You know what I mean? It wants to have fun. And so, what is Sagittarius? And Sagittarius is the 9th sign of the zodiac, and it rules over the 9th house. It's ruled by Jupiter, and it lords over the hips and thighs. Its symbol is the centaur or the archer, depending on who you ask, and its mantra is I see. This here is mutable fire, y'all. And I like to think of Sagittarius as a wanderer energy of the zodiac. This energy is about seeking truth, and the best way to do that is to hit the road and have experiences learn on the fly. Knowledge and wisdom are key here, and it comes through having a broad-minded approach to shit. The Sagittarius sign is keenly interested in philosophy and religion, and this is always kind of the true internal quest with this energy. It wants to be free to really seek the true meaning of life, and that's in a big way too. With Jupiter's influence, man, Sagittarius is always trying to do it big, okay? Never forget that. And so what about people that have Jupiter and Sagittarius in their natal chart, huh? Well, a lot of motherfuckers would say that people with Jupiter here were born under a lucky star because, Sagittarius, Jupiter, whatever, it's at home here. And with this energy greatly magnified, man, this planet pretty much seems to attract good fortune on a major level in almost everything it touches. This is the King Midas placement, you know what I'm saying? Jupiter allows for the fullest expression of the benevolent qualities of Jupiter, who's pretty much always trying to help you grow and flourish in the most positive of ways. The Sagittarius sign has an inherent sense of exploration and craves adventure. Plus, like all mutable signs, it's naturally curious. So couple that with this fiery nature, and it makes these motherfuckers really love converting people to their beliefs. So there's a little hint about them. They seek knowledge through experience, so they're drawn to travel, to learn different cultures and shit like that. And Jupiter helps bring the potential for great wisdom if they're allowed the freedom to do so, man. They really need their freedom. On another note, Sagittarius Jupiter folks have this real warm and outgoing personality that helps them out in every situation. They have a certain detached friendliness about them that comes from greeting everybody in a non-judgmental way, and that makes them a fast friend for many since they cast such a wide net Pardon me. And for the best luck, they're going to need to remain open to others, both personally and with their beliefs, because becoming too dogmatic and trying to impose their beliefs is going to diminish their blessings. It has to be reciprocal. You have to understand that. These natives advance through life by growing in wisdom and sharing that knowledge with others, perhaps through teaching, preaching, motivational speaking, publishing, or things like that, man. They might even be bringing you some priceless knowledge yourself. But I ain't no Jupiter and Sag. They really need to, or they really do excel in areas that call for visionary thinking, man. Plus, they're able to inspire others through their examples of faithful living, which is definitely what's up in my life, Jupiter and Sagittarius motherfuckers typically don't ever let life get them down. They're always optimistic no matter what. And that kind of makes them a perfect role model for those without a sense of certainty, who they'll pretty much find themselves preaching to their whole motherfucking life, man. These people can be labeled as the seekers due to their penchant for travel, gaining experiential wisdom, and their insatiable hunger for knowledge from all over the universe, man. They're extremely tolerant of others and all the differences they encounter, not to mention faithful and honest to a fault, and extremely passionate in their beliefs. And the optimism that they project is usually paid back to them tenfold by the planet of Jupiter. Man, it's just, it's the law of attraction, like they say. They're getting what they're putting out there, man, and they project positivity. So with that, they tend to be quite lucky in life. And on the other side of that coin, the humongous pitfall of being so motherfucking knowledgeable is that they can often come across as a motherfucking know-it-all, because they've done the motherfucking research, and sometimes they get too motherfucking fanatical about their findings. And, sometimes it's still just their opinion, and they need to realize that, which, that always comes back to those dogmatic tendencies. They need to be mindful and have patience and learn how to practice restraint sometimes, because more than anything else, this Jupiter knows no boundaries. It really doesn't. And it can manifest in an individual who has tendencies to be way too slapdash and reckless. And so thus we have a classic case of too much of a good thing. And that's always dangerous. And in this case, it's too much of a good thing. And that can get scary, man. It has to. Summing all this shit up, Sagittarius Jupiter folks are free spirits who are always thinking about the future and are so motherfucking positive and optimistic that they can seem to get their luck from everything that they do and anything that they touch. But it really comes from the vibrations of their soul, man. They fear no experience and are always willing to gamble, which this in itself puts them in a position to win more than everybody else that's sitting on the sidelines pussyfooting and shit. Yeah. Not to mention their mutable modality makes them willing and able to learn from their mistakes, while Jupiter keeps them positive. So there's really no way they can lose, man. And they understand that, which makes them some motherfuckers, man. Like, they understand that the dice will always turn in their favor. And my advice for y'all that do have this Jupiter placement is to try to learn some tact while y'all are spewing all that motherfucking truth all the motherfucking time. Because sometimes that shit y'all be saying can break a motherfucking sensitive motherfucker. And we can never forget that this is still all about love, okay? You just can still speak your truth, but learn some tact, okay? And with that being said, man, there's been some priceless knowledge itself, man. If y'all fucking with me, man, please like, share, and subscribe, man. Hit that like button, okay? Subscribe to my channel if you ain't already. Go join my Facebook group, Priceless Knowledge itself. Share this motherfucking video. Share my motherfucking group. Help me get out there and help somebody else, man. Because I'm just trying to keep it real, man. That's all I know. Okay? If you're interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below, or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Okay? And that's in Western, that's in Vedic, And that's in numerology, man. Okay? I'm a fool with it. And for those of y'all that aren't familiar with that term, that means I'm cold with it. And if you ain't familiar with that term, that means I'm good with it, man. Yeah, I'm on point. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support, man. It's y'all that motivates me, and I hope I motivate y'all. I'm gonna be back in a little bit with a little something about those people that have Jupiter and Scorpio in their natal chart. Yeah, I bet that's interesting. So, hey, man, I appreciate everything, man. Holla at you.